Chiefs managed to sort of, pretty much dwindle down and take apart one of the best teams ever in any case, how they did it. Sadly, they can't count on the humidity of the weather conditions like in Fiji. So they're going to have to sort of, change their game tactics. But their Rebels team, they're not a bad side on a good day.
Yes,
so, if they can find that momentum, against the Red and Blacks, I reckon it could be quite a close match.
I think they're leading the Australian Conference. Or, well, they're up there anyway. They may not be leading, but they're up there, that's for sure. And, of course, my Hurricanes, they are up against the Lions. Now, it's going to be a bit of a tougher game for them. Of course, they were able to beat the Storm last weekend. I think it was. Yeah, was it the Stormers? No, that wasn't the Stormers. The Sharks, sorry. They beat the Sharks in quite a convincing way too. But be a little bit different, I think, up against the Lions today. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it will be. I mean, every game you've got to look at it differently. I mean, no two teams are the same as we've seen, and that's why we watch the games, because they were to be rather quite boring football. But your Hurricanes, they're another one of those teams that promises so much but delivers so little. I always like saying that line especially against the Hurricanes. But I don't know, they show signs of potential as well if they can get their A into G and throw the ball around a bit more, maintain a good steady defence. They'll keep any side from scoring, and we know they've got enough strike players to really to tip over any side. But once again, it's the Hurricanes. When they're bad, they're bad. When they're good, they're great.
Yes, I agree with you. Now, NBA Finals, Toronto go out and take a lead. They won the first game, Toronto, against the Golden State Warriors. Then big comeback from the Golden State Warriors, but unfortunately they were down. No Thompson, no Klay Thompson. No Kevin Durant, almost, what's his name, Steph Curry, had to pretty much do everything in Game 3 there, Raa?
Well, that's why they paid him the big bucks, really. I mean, when you've got a man like that in your side on the court, you pretty much can throw the gist of a lot of your players at him, because he's going to deliver. His consistency is second to none. You can basically bet your house on Steph Curry. I mean, that's how good he is, and he hasn't let the team down yet. And given his current form, I think that's going to long continue. But as I've seen over there, now that it's between an American team and a Canadian team, it's sort of there's a lot of nationalistic sort of slurs going around, and everybody loves to beat the Yanks, even more so the Canadians. That's their closest neighbours, and I, for one, am backing the Raptors. I've always had a soft spot for Canada, only because our predicament with our neighbours Aussie. We're like the Canadians down under here. Next to the big brother, and they haven't got a bad side, the Raptors, but they've got to want to win it at the end of the day, because you can't trust these Americans. They'll pull the wool from underneath your eyes, not because they can, but because that's how good they are. And Toronto, I think they've got to come out and dominate on the court. It's as simple as that. You've got to keep a good team down, and the Yanks. They've got to be the favourites, though.
47, Golden State? Yeah. 47 points from Curry. The thing is, I think that they only had two people in double figures with scoring. And, he had no help, near on no help. They had DeMarcus Cousins, who, he's a superstar. DeMarcus Cousins, a superstar. He only was able to notch up 4 points. And I think he might have been like the fourth highest scorer on their team. So, it's going to be tough, I think, for Golden State Warriors, unless they can get Klay Thompson back or some of their other players back, eh? What do you reckon?
Yeah, they're a side that's been there, done that, and, that usually counts for something, especially in B-ball. if you've got that momentum going from past seasons, and you've played together with a very formidable outfit, you tend to back each other. And as you made mention, they've got a lot of superstars in their team. The only thing is they're not let it get to their heads, because that's usually the capitulation of any good side, is that they start believing too much. They just get on with their normal game, what's gotten them this far and what's won a lot of titles for them. And I reckon, they will go the distance. But nah, my money's on the Canadians. I'd like any team outside of an American side to take their own competition.
True. Now, JT, the Cricket World Cup. Now, I was able to watch the highlights of the last game New Zealand played against Bangladesh, and boy, I tell you what, it was quite a close game. Did you catch any of that game?
Yeah, I did get up early on Thursday morning after the Origin. I had to come back to work, so I had to leave home. New Zealand looked like they were cruising, and then they lost 2 or 3 wickets quite quick. And then Mitchell Santner came in and guided us home. I didn't actually catch the end, so I was a bit on 10 minutes on my drive back to work. And then, got up here and then heard the news that we'd managed to get it across the line with a 2-wicket win. Big respect to the Bangladeshis with their little spin bowling attack, and they certainly took it to us. And they'll upset a couple of teams along the way that the old bangers, but fortunately for us, we move on, and with our net run rate being the most positive out of the other side so far, we're on top of the ladder. But it's only 2 games and sort of a few games to go. A couple of big ones coming up, Australia later on in the tournament, and then we'll see where we're at.
True that. It just seems funny though, with news coming from the, I guess I'm not sure who from, but there seem to be maybe some of the English supporters aren't, I don't know whether they're trying to create something out of nothing, but they're really talking up the Bangladesh team. Have you heard anything like that?
Yeah, they are, mate. Whether it's trying to be like a bit of a red herring or whatnot, but one of the big things of fans is the way they're treating the Aussies, well, in particular, Smith and Warner.
Yes.
And rightly so.
Yes.
What will they think of it? Go over there and get away empty-handed, or get off the free money? England will give it to you all day, every day, no matter if you're playing England or not. So, and good job. They
for sure
brought the game into dispute, and they've disgraced themselves. In particular, David Warner. I don't think he should be.
Yes, I agree.
I hope like anything Australia don't win, or the Poms.
Yeah,
I'd rather we don't win. I'd like the West Indies to win.
Yep, absolutely.
You know me, I love cricket so much. I mean, watching every game. I hate the game, but my money, I'm supporting the Afghans, not because I love their biscuits, but it's always good to see the underdogs. Hopefully try and get a win. Hopefully, I don't know where they are, but I think New Zealand, they're unbeaten. Is it 2 for 3 or something?
Raa Walker is supporting Afghanistan. Let me finish. The capital of Afghanistan is Kabul.
Full of bull in Kabul.
Well, let's hope Raa Walker's because Afghanistan have got New Zealand tomorrow, so hopefully they won't be upsetting New Zealand tomorrow. There, bro.
I got a last prime TV over here showing some of the games on TV. Live. I think they're not going to do that for the rugby. I wonder why, because nobody likes watching cricket as much as they do rugby. But look, in all fairness, I mean, I might not like the game. I might not even know who the players are, or give a toss about where they sit in the table, but I always sort of like to think New Zealand can go all the way, especially when Aussie's supposed to be pretty good at the game, and it's always good to beat them.
Yes, true.
On the World Cup of the year, what are you talking
about? No, I'm in total agreement with you though, JT. I think Aussie, in particular, Steve Smith and David Warner deserve every single barrack that they get. And I remember before the World Cup got started, I think it was Justin Langer, the coach for Australia, he was saying that, please don't, barrack against our players. And I was thinking, come on, turn it up. That's just, what a load of crap. Of course, that just made it worse, I think. A lot of people went out of their way, in particular, to go and barrack those 2 players. In fact, Australia overall. What do you reckon, JT?
It's quite funny, Keith, because once they were selected, I've obviously got a lot of Australian friends, and cricket's quite a big deal over here. And they're split down the middle, mate. Half of them
Yeah.
support the side, and half of them are absolutely disgusted. And in
Right.
fact, they're hoping, a lot of them are hoping that we win because we've never won one before, and they think it's disgrace to the colours and to the players that have gone before them that these two knuckleheads are in there. So, yeah, interesting situation with the Australians and the English fans that love-hate relationship. Oh, no, it's a hate-hate relationship,
Yes.
to be honest. And hopefully the Tommy fans keep giving it to them. And in Bay, it's the Barmy Army.
Yes, I agree. I hope they certainly do give it to them. Anyway, we've got to move on, guys. Of course, we've got the French Open. A young lass by the name of... Yes, that's it. Has been kind of like tearing it up. Only a 17-year-old. Man, she's been tearing it up. Unfortunately, she got beaten by Ash Barty, of course, which is just how things go, I suppose. That's tennis for you. But so have you been watching some of the French Open there, JT?
Yeah, a little bit, mate. Ash Barty comes from a town called Ipswich, which is just down the road here. So there's a big mob of, they call themselves the Barty Party. And
oh, yep.
It'd be good for Australian women's tennis.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
If she can play and just put someone else up there. And, power to her.
Absolutely. Big good luck to her. Anyway, gentlemen, that pretty much, brings us to the last part of our proceedings here to take part on Full-Time for this morning is definitely my favourite part. The part that we tend to call...
Put the Boot In!
My Put the Boot In today is going out to this one. I can't remember the name. I think it's called Western Park. It's a caravan park in West Auckland that John Campbell was able to broadcast about. And I know a number of people would have seen this particular segment that John Campbell put to air. I think it was on Breakfast a couple of days ago. Anyway, this park apparently houses a whole bunch. I'm not sure how many families are in this park, but there are little, basically, boxes that people are housed in, and it costs $500 for families to be within these particular little boxes. I wouldn't even call it a house. They've also got caravans, which go for about $230 caravans a week. This is a week, and these boxes cost like $500 a week. And this is all happening up there in West Auckland, which I think is just absolutely pitiful of this particular park. Not only that, but from what I understand, this particular park has been doing stuff like this, or at least these things have been happening since 2005, I believe, was when it was first reported on that this particular park was housing families for things like this. It was just unbelievable. Anyway, there we go. That's my
Put the Boot In!
Yeah, my Put the Boot In is very similar to Keithy. It's just to do with the rent and putting the boot into the government for doing something about it. I mean, $500+ in some places, for people to pay rent, and it's ridiculous. I mean, that's what I thought we voted to do, these governments, and to try and ease that burden and to help the majority of people who are struggling to, find a roof over their heads. But it doesn't surprise me. A little while back, I ran something on my social media site that pointed to a lot of the politicians own more than one home. So, somebody's getting rich out of these rents, and it's not the people, the majority of Kiwis that are actually struggling out there. So, they go hand in hand. So that's my boot in. Goes into the governments that allow this type of carry on.
Put the Boot In!
Yeah, might put the boot in this week, boys. It's a bit of a light-hearted one. Goes out to a school just up the road from where I live. This is the Pimpamar State Primary College. On Wednesday morning, the day of State of Origin, a young fellow rocked up to school wearing a New South Wales jersey, beanie, and waving around one of the ugly sky blue flags. So my Put the Boot In this week goes out to the school because they only sent him home for the day. They should have expelled him from the school wearing please. That's my put the boot in.
Put the boot in.
I gotta say, you know, good luck to that young boy.
I reckon you should carry on wearing it. Freedom of dress.
Freedom of dress.